Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about the readings and essay assignments with week one. So first off, with the essay number one, there were a lot of different things that I found interesting in this reading. One of them, or a couple of them, being the treatment of the actors that would have joined this theater. First off was the stipulation that the actors had to quit whatever jobs or anything that they had to be able to join the theater, which they wouldn't be very well compensated. Even if the theater was doing really good things in terms of like shows or work or anything, they weren't going to receive a whole lot of payment for that, which I find really interesting because I also see how that almost mirrors somewhat to what happens today, even though there are actors that are out there that do a lot of performing or technical work or like anything in the theaters, but that are also able to kind of go and do other jobs as well, as long as either the schedules don't clash or it doesn't affect their work in either area. And so I found it interesting that this particular setup created that as a rule, that they couldn't work anywhere else but just there, but would be paid poorly for their services. But the actors didn't care because they wanted to be a part of that theater so bad. And I also think that that just shows a lot of times how badly performers or really anybody in theater really want to be at those jobs, that they're willing to take whatever is handed to them as long as they can be in that environment. Another thing that I found interesting in the first reading in an essay I put in the essay number one is, again, it has something to do with the actors of they were not allowed to say no to a role that they were offered. And I find this extremely interesting because on one hand, there are, again, like today, a lot of actors and performers out there that do kind of take any role that is handed to them no matter what it is. And then the flip side to that is there are a lot of people that know where their limits are. They know where their comfort zone lies, and they know what they're not okay with doing or what they can't do. And so a lot of times actors are offered roles in shows and they will think to themselves, well, as much as I want to be in this show, this is not a part that I want to play, or it's not a part I can play, or I'm not comfortable playing, or I know that that character has like certain scenes that I'm not okay being in. And a lot of times if you do bring that to a director, they are fully understanding that, if you are not comfortable with this, if this is something that makes you very uncomfortable, I'm not going to force you to do anything. And then also sometimes like people don't understand, well, why didn't you want to take that role? Why didn't you want to dive into doing this? And some people don't kind of get that not everybody is okay with taking every single role that is out there. Some people, they do have their limits of what they can or cannot handle. When it comes to the second reading and essay number two, there were several things that I found very, very interesting. One is I love the way that they were describing singing and how you are conveying emotion like physically through singing, and how you are taking in like all of like the breath and like everything is vibrating through your entire body. And that really struck a chord with me because as a singer myself, when you are in a position where it is you and you are just kind of letting it all out there through song, there is something so extremely powerful about that, because there is this vibration that does happen through your entire body and you are breathing with what feels like everything that you've got. And so you are conveying all of this emotion through every single pore of your body. And I love how they describe that in this reading. The other thing is I love that they talked about his connection to not only singing but opera, and how if he couldn't make it as a opera singer himself, he was going to be there for other people. And I absolutely love that because it just shows that he was passionate enough about something that even if he couldn't make it in that arena himself as a performer, he was still going to express his love and devotion to it by saying, well, if I can't make it, I'm going to help as many people as I can make it, coach them, help them do whatever it is because I have such a love for this that I'm not going to give up on it entirely. Like he didn't say, oh, I can't make it, so now I hate this and I don't want anything to do with it, because a lot of people, whenever they are in situations like that and they can't make it in certain aspects or career things in their life, they kind of turn their backs on them. They say, I'm done, I don't want anything to do with this. And he could have taken that road, and that would have been completely understandable if he had, but he didn't. He decided, you know what, I can't make it here myself, but I'm going to try to do all of these other things for myself, and I'm going to help other people make it in this opera field, because that's how passionate he was about singing, and I absolutely just love that. I also really like what he had to say about when you are playing certain characters, to kind of, you know, like if you're playing an evil person, to find the good things in them, or if you're playing an older person, find where they're like a kid. And I think that is so true in reality, because people are so complex and so full of all of these different kinds of emotions and choices and actions. And you know, and I didn't mention this in my essay, but you know, if you are playing an evil person and you think, well, everything they're doing is evil, you know, how could they be good? Well, you have to think there are some people that while they are evil, they may not always do evil things. They may do some good things. And you also have to remember that an evil person may not always see themselves as evil. They're going to see themselves as the good guy. And so you kind of have to think about all of those stuff before you paint that character in evil. You have to find all these other avenues about them, because you as the actor have to really connect to that character, because you're going to be the one that's portraying them. So you want to portray every single side of them that you can, to give your audience all of that depth and emotion that you've got, and to give them a well-rounded understanding of that character. I really enjoyed the readings of this week. I cannot wait to see what we've got going on for next week, and to comment and read about the stuff for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.